for the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 8. Call your station regarding a possible kidnapping. That's all. Roll control.
It is 5:30 in the evening, the rush hour in the big city, the peak hour for accidents. At the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, we listen in on one of the constant series of emergency calls.
A man's been run over by a streetcar at the corner of 8th and Hill Street. He'll die unless help gets here quick. How fast can you get a doctor here?
8th and Hill Street? The ambulance is on its way now and be here in 2 minutes or less.
And so it happens hundreds of times a day in the many cities and counties where Rio Grande cracked gasoline powers the ambulances and emergency cars. As the call for help is coming over the phone, the ambulance driver is signaled and steps on his starter. The engine roars instantly into full power. No choking, no delay. With clutch out, the driver awaits the address. And even as the location is given him over the loudspeaker, he is rounding the corner with Rio Grande cracked gasoline pouring power into the rear wheels. More power, more speed, more acceleration than ordinary gasoline can give. That's the reason more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, and all other emergency equipment are powered by Rio Grande cracked than any other gasoline everywhere it is sold. Because it is manufactured in America's newest, finest cracking plant by the most advanced process and most costly equipment known to the petroleum industry. Rio Grande cracked has the advantage over all other gasoline.
Hey, what's up, folks? Joe, I think we're live.
Oh, hey, we're live.
That we are.
Welcome, everybody. That would have been great if I was like taking off my shirt or something, or
Yeah, I mean, 6 o'clock. We had a count. You know, the countdown was going.
yeah. I just wasn't. I had a different screen on. I was looking up some.
I
some
got
pricing on some
that's
stuff.
funny.
Yeah, so you know, it's, I'm excited. I wasn't doing anything too embarrassing. So
Yeah, I thought you were fine. I thought you were great.
how's it going? How's your Tuesday?
It's very good. It's very good. We've seen each other a couple of times today.
A couple of times today. Yeah, but you know,
We had a meeting this morning about breakfast. We had a meeting over breakfast, rather. We didn't have a meeting about breakfast.
we had a meeting on where to eat breakfast,
Yes.
but that was a short meeting. The long meeting took place at breakfast.
That might have been the first PICTO breakfast we've had.
I think so. Yeah, I think we're gonna adopt the meeting at breakfast thing. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I know the Reese boys do it that way.
They do a Tuesday lunch, right?
Tuesday lunch.
Mm.
Tuesday lunch, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we'll have to do a Tuesday breakfast.
Let's
Up
see.
there Tuesday lunch.
John Ross checking in. John, how we doing, man? Thanks for being here. Culture Den, what's up, you hot bros? You take off that shirt. A little weird, but made me chuckle, so.
That's fair. Hey John. Hey Culture Den.
I'll take it, man. I mean, I'm going to keep my shirt on, but it did make me laugh.
Yeah. No. That's fair. Yeah. Welcome everybody. It's a PICTO and Friends, and this is the first time, Adam, I think we're dueling interviewing.
Yeah. Gorilla Garage was an interesting one because that wasn't you. So yeah. I
It
think
wasn't me. No, it was just
this might be the first time.
yeah.
What are you drinking in that mug?
Coffee.
Not chocolate milk?
Frankenberry. Nope, just coffee.
I have chocolate milk in mine.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so what's going on? What's new on the website?
You had notes for it tonight. Actually, who's our guest tonight?
Oh, our guest is the one and only Uncle Tickles.
Uncle Tickles, Ted.
And of course is Ted at Superworld Comics.
Yep, Superworld Comics.
Adam coined him Uncle Tickles, I think a long time ago at a show.
Long time ago.
And I know Austin's a big fan of that nickname. Still calls him it.
Yep.
I'm
It's good
not sure Ted's a fan of it, although he's definitely more of a fan of that than some of the other nicknames that he's gotten over the years.
I think it's gotten to him. I think it's grown on him anyways, but
Yeah. We'll have to ask him. That's one of the questions.
what do you got on the website?
A lot of cool new books coming up on the website. I know we just processed a lot of modern books.
Okay. We did.
Modern, the title, not modern, the error.
Yeah, exactly.
And those modern books, I know we had a blog post about it today. The modern books are just fantastic. I love them.
Modern comics, those modern comics. Although that doesn't make any sort of differentiation one bit, just changing the word. At least the title is modern comics. So we're talking the quality 40s title.
The quality 40s title featuring Blackhawk. I guess that's an easy way of doing. I guess moderns and Blackhawks are a better way of really featuring those.
We're talking in Dr. Hands. I'm sorry, in Chop Chop.
Chop Chop, not Dr. Hands yet.
Dr. Hands is still DC.
Yep. So those modern comics are cool. On the blog post today, we talked about how the modern, it kind of brought up the grading the moderns, brought up the fact of one of the reasons I don't like grading is you can't look at the books, and those moderns had just amazing splash pages. I know, what was it? 63 had a great like Gorilla Man with a woman in distress.
Yeah, you had that on the blog this morning.
Yep. And then another, I think it was 66. I could be getting the numbers here wrong. But the splash to the other one was a big devil splash, which is great because, again, if it was on the cover,
we foolishly didn't take photos of those splash pages to post or to at least share on the screen here. But I can pull up one of the moderns that we had. It just give me 1 second. I'm looking like a fool here because I didn't properly name these, and so I can't blow them up without blowing them up entirely. Hold on. We got one of the moderns here. Oh, we got one of the Blackhawks. You want to start with one of the Blackhawks? This Blackhawk 50?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, the Blackhawk. Yeah, that's where I guess I was leaning into.
Yes.
Blackhawk 50. This is a great one. It features a Reed Crandall cover from March of 1952. Reed Crandall cover and Reed Crandall art on one of the Blackhawk stories. Now, this Blackhawk only features Blackhawk stories. It's 3 Blackhawk stories in there. 2 of the stories are Reed Crandall. One of the stories is actually Bill Ward art, which is pretty cool.
Is Crandall inking himself?
What's that?
Is Crandall inking himself?
I believe he's inking himself on the entire issue. Yeah, I think he did the covers and inks. And then I think the interior, he also did the pencils and inks.
That's neat. I think for the most part, Reed Crandall might have inked most of his own work. I think he's like Manili in that sense.
Yeah, I think Crandall inking his own stuff is fantastic.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you.
Crandall's top notch. This is the first Killer Shark, which is pretty cool. First Killer Shark cover, first Killer Shark appearance.
Yeah, very neat book. Very, very, very neat book.
Very, very cool. These, again, the quality stuff I think is just very underrated. DC obviously now owns Blackhawk. Hopefully they eventually do something with the title. Amazing that Blackhawk had 3 different titles he was involved in: modern, military, and Blackhawk.
Yeah. Yep. Really, really neat. And then before that's Uncle Sam Quarterly, I think.
Yeah, but
that's what the title goes from Uncle Sam Quarterly to modern. It's Uncle Sam Quarterly to military.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd know better than I would actually.
It's Uncle Sam to military.
But no, I mean it just shows you how big of a hero Blackhawk was back in the 50s.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, 40s into the 50s. He's just massive. It's like Captain Marvel Shazam outselling Superman at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he had his own cereal. He was. I feel like there's a lot of demand for the character.
Yeah, and now he's not a Marvel or DC, so it's kind of I guess Blackhawk is, and so is Shazam. But
we got Teddy Bear in the back room. So Ted, we see you. We're gonna bring you in a little bit here. We're gonna go over a couple more website add-ons, and then we got some photos of Ted's PC. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. He sent me them right before we started. I'm excited to talk about some of that stuff.
Fantastic. What else we got on the site, Joe?
So we got a few pulps. Exciting Mystery 1. I think this was really cool.
Exciting Mystery, the pulp, right?
Yep.
I think that's it. Bingo.
That's it. Yep. It's from fall of 1942. It's volume 1, number 1, which is really cool. A woman in distress again. Women in distress always seem to be wearing, not the best clothes to be in distress, but I guess you don't choose when you're going to be in distress. This is a solid, very good 3-0.
By correlation,
I'm sorry, what?
One of those causation by correlation things?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
It's probably easier for the artist, too, to draw less clothes. But
girls stay home for the night, don't get in trouble,
Yeah, you're right, yep. This is a very good 3-0. There's 2 pieces of tape on the inside, which I don't know if you looked at this, but the tape does nothing. I don't know why there's two pieces. I think it's masking tape on the inside front cover. So it took a couple grades off for the pieces of tape. So it's actually too bad that the tape's on there because it would grade higher. It would probably be in the 5.0 range without the tape, but
still, it's a clean book. I scanned this, I think, yesterday or the day before, and still feels nice. It's very, very structurally solid.
And I love the guy's eyeball. I think
yep.
So
yeah,
cool.
the red, the deep red.
Yeah, yep.
What else we got?
The other pulp we have is Weird Tales from January of 1950. Great Matt Fox cover here. Matt Fox clock cover.
Yeah, it's crazy because some of these pulps, I look at the covers and I am honestly mind blown at why they go for what they do. Like, this should warrant such a higher price tag. This is a fine -5.5.
Yeah, the Matt Fox stuff, we've talked about it before. The pulp stuff does not get quite the love that his comic covers get.
No.
And the values are not nearly the same as some of his comic covers. Like, I think Chilling Tales he worked on for a little while. Those covers are great. And this stuff is just as good. But it's just not. It's a good way of getting some cool Matt Fox covers for not nearly the price of his comic work.
That's a very good point.
But I just thought this was a cool Fox cover. Nice, like I said, clock image there.
This is neat.
We'll stick with the Golden Age stuff, Adam. How about Contact number 3? This is from November of 1944. Great LB Cole cover here. I love these contacts. I know you're a big fan of these contacts.
I mean, this is top tier. LB Cole's war stuff, I don't really think you can compete with it. I think this whole run of contacts, I think I'm in the minority. I mean, I know I'm in the minority here. I really think that, was it Contact 12, the famous LB Cole cover, the one that everyone after?
Yeah.
In comparison to the rest of the Contact run, I think it sucks. I really don't like that cover. I don't know why guys are losing their minds about it.
That's
it's
funny.
cool. It's a fun sci-fi cover. It's not that I don't like it. I do think it's the worst of all the Contact covers. I really do.
Yeah, I think I don't hate it as much as you do apparently, but I just think I love LB Cole. I think LB Cole is great.
It's no disrespect to the cover itself. Yeah, John, the P38s in this one is just it's so dynamic. I love that they're all at different angles. And LB Cole is he was a master. He's kind of like Evans in that sense. Like,
I was gonna say the only person better at drawing planes than LB Cole was probably George Evans.
Yeah, yep.
Who truly loved planes, you could tell.
Oh, I think George Evans was a pilot.
He was, yeah, yep. But he truly just loved that guy lived and breathed.
Like your old neighbor who had the trains in the basement. That guy had a big plane collection in his basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And guys, if you see anything on the show tonight that you want to make an offer on, we're open to offers all night. You shoot them out there, or you can go over to the website, rolepictocomics.com, and order it on the website. Adam, a couple more books, and then we'll maybe bring Ted in, and then show the rest of the books later.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Ted, sit tight for like another minute or two, and we'll bring you right in. All right, pal? Give me a yes. I love that.
The next two books, Adam, we got a Bronze Age horror book, and we have a Silver Age Marvel.
All right, let's see here. Is the Silver Age Marvel the X-Men?
X-Men 37.
There we go.
Pick this one because it's super high grade. VF plus 8.5. Nice shape for a 12-cent Marvel here. Cool Don Heck cover on this one. And Ross Andrew art on the inside. I'm not a huge X-Men fan, but I've always thought this was a striking Don Heck cover. One of his best in this run. Obviously, Don Heck stuff really in the 50s, I think, was when he was at his prime, but still got it here. I think he did a fantastic job on this cover.
Joe, I'm just catching up in the chat. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to it as well.
I can't see the chat.
Oh, okay. I have IG open on another window. LB Cole gets a bunch of love. I know we're jumping back, but LB Cole gets a bunch of love for his colors. Did he color his own stuff? Do you know if he colors his own stuff?
I think, yeah. I know like that Contact he colored. I'm sure there's some covers that he didn't, but I think primarily he was coloring his own books.
Yeah, I feel like that's sort of. It seems like when he had he had a vision for it. He executed it, and so he had to have done everything, you know.
Yeah, he just did it, and he bought Star Publication with I think it was Disbrow. I think him and Disbrow bought Star Publication.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you could definitely tell an LB Cole cover right from the colors by itself.
Yeah. Yep.
It's one of those guys that you don't even have to look at the line work to. You can, and this one's not even one of the best colored ones, I think, but it is truly a great cover.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And you have one more book?
One more book. Unexpected number 133. This is a Bronze Age horror book. This was the last edition out. There we go. Pick this one again. Another high grade copy here. Near mint -92. Beautiful copy and a great Jack Sparling wash cover. Big fan of wash covers. I know you are as well.
Yeah, big fan of Jack Sparling. Whenever I see him, it's like one of those names that I do truly forget about. And then when his work appears, I'm like, oh yeah, this is really solid.
Very solid. Yeah. Obviously, two kids hanging out at the cemetery at night. Luckily, fully clothed, unlike women who go out at night. Apparently,
couple of little rascals,
Little rascals. Yeah. Nick Cardy cover and your boy Dick Dillon art on the inside of this Unexpected.
Neat.
Yeah. So I think that's all for the stuff that's on the website. Again, that's just a small sample of what we have up on the website. Go check out. Got a ton of other stuff over there. We also, after TED, we're going to be going over some stuff that is not up on the site yet. So we'll have some new books. So stick around for the show after we bring in Teddy Boy in a minute, which Adam.
Without further ado, Teddy Bear, put on your pants because you're live.
There Uncle Tickles has arrived.
Hey, there he is.
All right.
How's it going, Ted?
I'll tell you, Adam, you guys are fruitcakes. If you don't think Contact 12 is the best cover in the run.
Well, to be fair, only one of us said that, Ted. So
that's true. That's
only
true.
One
we gave it a little love.
Yeah, only one.
It's no Captain Flight 11, but it's still great.
Yeah.
And
that's funny, Ted. I love it.
I got to tell you, I do kind of enjoy Uncle Tickles. I think it's very, very creative, very original.
Adam's nothing if not creative.
Yep. He's maybe warped, completely warped, but creative people are often like that.
And a fruitcake, but he's
you know what? I'm looking at the Contact 12 again. It is a really neat cover. There's a lot going on here. So it's not that it's bad. I just think that the way that guys freak out about the 12 versus the other ones in the run, there's some really great Contact covers.
The other ones in the run are all aviation covers, like wartime aviation covers.
Which I'm biased.
For some reason, that doesn't excite the hoi polloi as much as the science fiction cover.
Yeah, that's fair.
Once you get to the sci-fi, it gets extra exciting for most, a bunch of us. Of course, I'm biased, of course.
The Contact 7, I think, is the best one in the run. I really love that Contact 7, but
it is a great run.
It is a great run.
Yeah,
and it is war era, which is great. Extra great.
Because that I think the 3 is from 44. So
yeah, you're right. Yep,
1944, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and LB did do his own coloring.
Yeah,
that's why it's so distinctive.
It's like it's easy to pick out his work because of the coloring. It's more so the coloring than it is even the art itself.
Yeah, it's so primary.
Yeah, because even the funny animal stuff, which I think is still underrated,
it's great.
It's awesome. Yeah,
I never would have thought that I would think that. I never would have guessed that I would think that funny animal covers would be spectacular.
Yeah,
but some of his are just unbelievable.
He did a few holiday covers, like I think actually holiday comics. And the Santas are always great. They're goofy.
Oh yeah,
they're neat.
What's amazing is a couple of weeks ago on our show, we presented a Gasoline Alley, like a kind of a rare book, and it was an LB Cole cover.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know how I could tell?
The colors.
The colors, yes.
Amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
What show are you speaking of, Ted?
I'm speaking of Why Not Wednesdays.
Why not? Oh, I didn't know we had a name for it. I haven't.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
Wednesday?
what we did was when we had to move it from Tuesday because of Lisa's class.
Yep.
We put out the word to the crazies out there to come up with names for the Wednesday show, and that was our favorite.
Oh, I love it.
It's a good one, yeah. Well, the reason we do Robo Picto and Friends is because you changed to Wednesday, so we're actually here tonight because because you guys changed. So it works out for the better.
Now, have you guys explained the origin of your name, Robo Picto?
No, I don't think we have.
Yeah, I've actually mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
That Adam, being a creative fella, already had a graphic design company that he called Robo Picto.
That's right. It's actually been a family name for a while.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's evolved over the years. It's been Robo Picto has been a lot of things, and I think this is the one that's made it some it's established itself rather.
It's definitely unique. The funny thing is, a lot of people when I first tell it to them, they say, "What?" Because it's just odd. It's different. It comes at you from a different angle. But then once they think about it for a few moments, they're like, "Cool."
They said that about Steve Jobs and Apple too.
What's that?
They said that about Steve Jobs and Apple.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's always good when you compare yourself to Apple, not even you're into your company.
If you're going to compare yourself to somebody, think big. Go big.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, the Robo Picto name is definitely unique. We're oddball as it is, so it kind of fits with our style. I think the only person that truly was like, that is amazing. I mean, you were a fan of it, but Scott at Three Keys, when we told Scott what we were going with, he lit up and he was like, "Oh, so like 50s robots and stuff," and we were like, "Yeah, that's the thought there."
Oh yeah, and the imagery you guys have come up with is really cool too.
Yeah, that's all Adam. Adam's a whiz.
Andy Fish is a gigantic help. He is a gigantic help.
Glad he's good for something.
All right, so should we show some of Ted's books, Adam, or it's not just books tonight? It's books, it's art, it's a little bit.
I only brought out a few things because I didn't want to get too crazy with it.
Well, yeah. I think what you did bring was enough, Ted. What it lacks in a lot, it
packs a punch.
It does packs a punch.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah. Teddy Bear, what do you want to start with?
Why don't you start with the books?
All right. You can
start with Superworld.
You got it. Let's do that.
Oh, okay. Speaking of names.
Yes. Now this is a book that I got in 1987 from the first collection that I ever bought that resulted in my company being formed, because I had to sell most of it, but I kept Superworld #1. And I was so thrilled with this Frank R. Paul cover and the whole mystique around the book that's where we got the name.
And if I'm not mistaken, this was, I don't know if it still is, but it was your business card for a while.
Yes. Yep, it still is.
It's a great business card. I mean, it's a great cover, and it's fitting that you bought it with your first collection was, a knockout Golden Age collection.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
But that you kept the Superworld comics one. And how did you decide? Speaking of names, how did you go with? What made you decide to go with Superworld? Obviously, Superworld 1 helped.
Yeah, and I loved. Part of it was getting educated by Rondo.
Yeah.
He taught me about a lot of Golden Age artists and books that I'd never even heard of, and the great pulp artist Frank R. Paul did that cover, and I was just absolutely over the moon. And so when we were trying to think of a name, he helped me start the business, and when we were trying to think of a name, we were just jotting down millions of names on a piece of paper, and it finally got down to the last couple. And we just really, part of it is I'm a science fiction fan as well as comics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Really big for me.
Yeah.
So this was perfect. It kind of crosses over both.
What were the other names? What did it? You remember what it beat out?
Well, one of them was Wonderworld, which is
Okay.
similar.
Yeah.
But I was always fascinated with Wonderworld Comics, the title. We did Comic Zone, some of the obvious ones
Yeah.
that later did get used by other people. I can't really remember. One of my big regrets is that I never saved that piece of paper.
Oh, no.
And I never saved a copy of my very first CBG ad, Comics Buyer's Guide.
Oh, okay.
You would laugh if you
Yeah.
saw it, because I crammed so much stuff in without thinking that this 8x10 paper was going to get reduced down to nothing when it appeared.
Oh, that's
When I
amazing.
saw it, I was like, oh my God, why did I do that? That looks horrible. Pretty
That's
funny.
great. I know a couple,
for sure.
I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, an old customer from a couple towns over came in with your old mailers that you sent out with the list
Yes.
of books that you had.
He
And I
saved them all.
I actually kept them. Yeah, they're in my PC because
I love that.
yeah, I just think they're cool. They're definitely a part of history. And just to see, I know the thing that sticks out the most is you had a Marvel Superhero Secret Wars 8 in your half price section, I think, for $4.
Those were the days.
It was a near mint. So
Oh God, the 90s,
Yeah.
Oh, it was so much easier to find a lot of stuff then, I'll tell you. Man, the more time goes by, the more difficult it is to find these old time gems.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. But you do a hell of a job. You guys just picked up a couple of collections, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, a nice pre-code horror and science fiction. Speaking of sci-fi, and then another one which is a mix of silver and golden age stuff. Really, some pretty scarce stuff.
That's cool. And you're also having a sale right now on the site, correct?
Yes, indeed, on the website.
Look at that.
Yes, how about it,
Joe?
What's that?
I managed to stay broke always. No matter how much we pull in, I spend it all. Get more cool stuff.
You're what did you say? Money poor but book rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, we're getting some comments in the feed that I know you guys can't see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
We're getting some comments in the feed that you guys can't see. Ruben is not going to be at the show this weekend. Said, sorry I miss you guys. We won't be attending. So, Rube, we're going to miss you.
Ruben, that's the whole reason we're doing the show.
Right. I was excited to see Rube. That's one of the reasons why it's worth going to New York. But we have Big Daddy checking in. Hey, I know that guy. Boxer Girls checking in. Hey, Ted. Guys are excited to see you. Ted's a legend. Uncle Tickles is a better name for the company. Holy crap, it's Ted, Danny Sakoff. John Ross is asking, when did Superworld start?
We started in 1987. It was kind of accidental because I started working at the Worcester Telegram newspaper in the ad graphics department, pasting up ads. And my manager on the night shift was Richard Mosso, who later became famously known as Rondo, named after Rondo Hatton. But that's another story. And he started bringing in some of his Golden Age books that he had for decades and was showing them to me and teaching me about Golden Age. And we got so excited. It was so thrilling. It made a boring job not only bearable, but thrilling. And so then at one point he needed to raise some dough. So he offered me part of his collection, but it was more money than I had by a long shot. So I went to Worcester Community Credit Union, got a personal loan. I thought they would laugh me out of there because remember, this was 1987. But they said, "What do you want the money for?" I said, "I'm buying a comic book collection." And they said, "Okay, no problem." So he gave me the money. And then it dawned on me that I had to pay it back. Oh,
yeah, loans usually that's how they get you. Yeah,
I know. The kid in me wanted to keep everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so I needed to pay the loan back. So basically, just by trial and error, I just started figuring out how to sell some stuff, set up at shows and whatever.
And then Rondo became not your partner, but he was helping you out at shows for a while. And
Yeah,
Well, he was really Jose before Jose was around.
Well before Jose, yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, it's funny because people got so used to seeing Rondo at the shows that when Rondo was no longer coming to the shows and Jose started coming, everybody would come up to the booth and ask, "Where's Rondo?" And they would totally ignore Jose. And Jose would come up to me later and say, "Oh, that's making me so upset." He said, "They just give me no respect. They don't even acknowledge me." And I said, "Give it time. Before you know it, they're going to be saying, 'Where's Jose?'" And that is what happened. Because Jose,
exactly what happened. Yeah.
And then Joe had to suffer that same thing.
Yeah. When he stopped going to shows, it was like major news, and people were devastated. That
"Where's Jose?" Yeah. And they like kind of look through Joe as if he wasn't there.
Yeah, which is fine by me. It's fine. Jose was amazing. I loved going to shows with him.
We still miss Jose. We were talking about him yesterday.
Yeah,
how hard he made us laugh and just some of the stuff.
Oh yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
He was the best kind of nerd.
Yeah, he definitely wore it as a badge of honor.
Yeah. And he just had no self-consciousness about it, which has made it, and his energy was so uplifting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So
when you looked like Jose, I feel like you were a nerd, and it was fine. Like, guy could just break you over his head, you know.
He could get away with whatever he wanted, pretty much.
Yeah. Being a black belt definitely helped.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He'd give you that look.
Yeah.
With the eyes, he was so good at that.
Oh man.
So, all right, so Adam, what's so is there one more book?
There's one more book.
Some art, right?
Yep. I didn't bring any Silver Age. I really don't have a lot of books in my personal collection. I maybe have 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's gotten whittled down over the years.
Well, I mean, you definitely. Even when I first started, you were kind of transitioning to mainly art at that time.
Yeah,
I know there was a couple year stretch where you were buying and keeping you wanted every Marvel one. I don't know if you gave up on that.
I never was able to follow through on that.
Yeah,
I have some of them, but I lack a lot. I lack more than I have.
Well,
it's sad, but true.
Yeah, it gets tough. What do you keep? What do you not keep? It's always a tough thing.
I've had Hulk 181 and 98 and 96 and 94, and I never kept any of them. I always just sold them because we needed, the boost. We needed the cash flow.
Yeah, it always helps. Adam, you having a hard time finding it?
No, we got it here. Just I'm sorry. I'm paying attention. You guys are paying attention to the chat. John Ross is going to look through his CBGs for that ad. He moved to New England in '88.
It would be, I forget what year it was, because it wasn't right at the beginning. It might have been 88. It might have been 89.
Yes,
I can't remember.
88 to 90, John. Check for that. Danny Sikoff, Jose gave me the best pricing on the phone. And then Kid Victory, every time I pass by a hot dog cart, I think of Jose. He loved New York City dirty water hot dogs.
He did.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, to a fault.
I would always bust him about mystery meat.
Yeah.
But he didn't care.
All right, boys, we got Ted, we got the slab cap. You ready?
Yes. Oh, nice. Now,
tell us the story, man.
This is killer. I mean, it's an unbelievable book. It's an original owner. This came from the finest collection that we ever had the good fortune to pick up. From Seattle, Washington. Joe actually took the phone call and told them to send a few pictures to my email. And when I saw the pictures, I fell out of my chair. And when I came to, I hopped on a plane and went out there, and I think it was like 650 books or so. And it was it hadn't seen the light of day for 70 years. And the books were in such high grade. The only thing that really downgraded a lot of them was that some of them had sun shadows. That's what kept them from 9.0 or better.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing that it was that high grade. And correct me if I'm wrong, but none of them were bagged, right? They were just stacked in a box.
Stacked, not in a comic box, but just in a cardboard box.
Yep, not even a comic box. Yeah, just a box and just.
To me, the most exciting kind of collection you could possibly find.
Yeah.
Which is from a closet that was cleaned out and it's been sitting there for decades. And they're not bagged. They're just unbelievable.
That had cap 46 in it.
Yes.
It had cap 36.
Yes.
I believe the Batman 20 out of that collection was graded at an 8.5.
Oh, God, that's
amazing. Yeah.
It had a Tech 168.
Yeah, just incredible stuff.
Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, collection that just. What's that, Adam?
How long ago did you guys pick that up?
Oh man, that must have been. Would have it been 10 years now?
It was. I was gonna say 2016, 2017.
Yeah, so it was 8 to 10 years. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I only kept a few of them. Again, I sold them all off, but I got a few of them.
Yeah, that cap 33 is beautiful.
It's amazing. The colors. Look at the colors on it.
Colors are great.
Like new.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was quite an incredible collection. I took the phone call and I think we went to Charlotte. Heroes was like that weekend. And you came home from Charlotte and then you flew immediately. I don't even know if you came home or if you just flew right to Seattle from Charlotte to look at that.
I can't remember, but I hopped on a plane.
You hopped on a plane.
Wait.
Yeah. It was insane. I mean, that's the type of collection that you don't wait on. You get those pictures and you just got to go.
Once in a lifetime. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. And worked out definitely. I know we had the big reveal there at not San Diego, but the LA show,
Torpedo. Yes.
Yeah. And I remember there was probably 5 or 6 boxes.
6 boxes.
And you had divvied them up like evenly amongst the dealers. So like not somebody like if someone didn't get like all the detectives or whatever, or all the
caps, right.
Ted did like the old grandma thing where like you count out the M&Ms for all your kids. That's what Ted did for all the dealers. It was like every box had good stuff in it. So like, his buddy didn't get the best stuff.
And I kind of did it equally, divvied it up, because I really get annoyed when a dealer gets a nice, amazing collection and then just lets a guy come in and just pillage it.
Yeah.
And everybody else is left wanting,
Because collection like that, if you get the CD box where it's all the caps and those detectives, like,
right.
It's
unfair.
You're definitely making out there.
Yeah. So I divvied it all up.
Yeah.
Though it's like you're feeding hyenas at the zoo.
That's what it was like.
It was insane. It was insane. Yeah.
I'm surprised I still have my hands.
Yeah. I'm just glad that we did get to do the LA show because San Diego load-in is already crazy. I couldn't imagine doing it and also unveiling that collection.
Oh God, being assaulted. Yeah.
Yeah, because all the dealers were able to pick through it at the LA show. And then
the funny thing is I remember Jamie came over in San Diego and he said, "What's this about a collection you didn't tell me about?"
Yeah.
Because I had forgotten to include him.
Yeah.
And so he came over and I pulled out.
I would have forgotten too.
What's that?
I would have forgotten Jamie too.
I pulled out what we had, which was still a ton, and he was just going. Foop, foop. He's like, "Take, nope, take, nope, take." It was hilarious.
It was great. I mean, it was an incredible collection.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the only other, there's 3 big collections that I remember picking up, while I was working for you. It was that C-Tech collection. It was the Bruno Bertolini collection.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was not C-Tech. What was the Michigan one?
Lychek.
Yep.
Oh, that was wonderful. The Lychek collection was every silver to bronze Marvel.
Yeah.
Which is the first and only time we've ever accomplished that.
It was the first time I'd ever seen a complete run of Journey into Mystery and Strange Tales in a collection. It was just those ones are really, really tough. Those early ones
from 1 and up.
Everything. Yeah. So it was cool seeing like the Jim 83 and the AF-15 and all that stuff. But to see those journeys from 1 and up, Range
Complete.
Scales 1 and up. Like it's just the pre-hero stuff is
staggering.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe got spoiled. He got spoiled by that collection.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And then the Ozone Park collection, which
the
was
Ozone Park collection. That was
That was that guy right there.
That's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tube Socks fan. I think that image is amazing. He worked for Ford, right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, Bruno was also one of the nicest guys we've ever dealt with.
Bruno was amazing. And that, again, another collection, not a complete run collection, but he had all the Marvel ones, I think. AF-15.
Two AF-15s.
Two AF-15s, yep. And they were the nicest people on the planet. I think he had 2 sons.
Yes, and his wife.
Yeah.
And they had us for dinner. They had us stay.
It was the Tuesday after Labor Day, so they had just had like a Labor Day cookout the day before. And they were like, "Hey, we're gonna grill out on the grill and make all the extra hamburgers and hot dogs. Do you guys want to eat with us?" And I was like, "We're like, sure, yeah,
why not?"
Yep. We had a couple of hamburgers, a couple of hot dogs. He gave me a beer. It was a good time.
And Joe was underage at the time.
Yeah.
No, he only looked it. And then we packed the car, my minivan, and basically every molecule was taken up of space. It was
we cannot fit another thing in the car. There was not. I think I had things on my lap driving home because
I remember we were driving and it just felt like we were riding real low.
Oh yeah. I think we sparked the back of the van when we pulled out of his driveway.
Oh god,
hanging that low.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. What do we got next, Adam?
Teddy Bear, what do you got? Because
do the Adams page, do the Avengers page.
I can barely see the thumbnail, so I'm just gonna pull one up, and you tell me if that's the right.
That's it.
Bingo.
Yep, this is a Neil Adams page, inked by Tom Palmer, and it's from the fabled Avengers '93, which when I was a kid, I was doing cartwheels when I got this book and read it. It's still one of my all-time favorite Marvels. And if I could have gotten a page from the kind of Fantastic Voyage with Ant-Man, I would have, but I've never seen one for sale ever. This is a great page. And I had to trade a Cap 46 to get it.
Oh, really?
Which I hated to do.
Yeah.
But I remember at the time even thinking, oh my God, this is original art. I have to get it.
I mean, it's a fantastic page. I mean, from a classic issue.
Yeah.
And Palmer, I think, is the best inker ever. He makes everyone that much better. And not that you need to take a lot of talent to make Neil Adams look good, but like just the Adams Palmer team is just fantastic.
The only inker on Adams that I think might get the edge over Palmer is Adams.
Yeah.
When he took his time, his stuff looked spectacular.
Yeah.
But Palmer, ridiculous. I mean,
amazing. Yeah.
And he was so young.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I love Palmer. I think the Colin Palmer team is also a favorite of mine.
Buscema Palmer. Amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Another one. But yeah, Palmer to me is he's my favorite inker. Right? Again, he makes everyone just that much better. So.
Great stuff.
Yeah, Joe, you love him on Colin, right?
I love him on Colin. That
great.
Dracula run where it's Colin Palmer. I think the whole 70 issues.
Well, not quite.
It's not
there's a couple that are Coletta and a couple that are Abel early on.
Oh, okay,
but mostly
it's Colin all the way through, right? All 70 issues. Okay.
Yep.
And then, so it's not quite Colin Palmer all the way through. Wow.
Yeah, and that was the only. Believe it or not, that was the only Marvel monster title that I bought regularly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because basically, I think I felt at the time when I was like maybe 13, I'm guessing, that Marvel's versions were too tame of these monster characters, and they didn't excite me that much. But Tomb of Dracula had such great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the art was so great that I always bought that one.
I remember reading. I think maybe my 9th or 10th birthday, my dad got me the Dracula Essentials, and that's how I read.
Oh, nice.
Dracula's, and he actually had Colin. I have it hanging up in my office, but he had Colin do a sketch of Dracula. I think he went to That's Entertainment.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I definitely brought it in. And
yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Nice thing about Palmer too is that he would use tints and tones and what is that stuff that you used to have to cut out with the dot matrices? I forget what it's called. Duotone, maybe something like that. And he'd make stuff look really three-dimensional.
Yeah. Just amazing stuff. That's a really cool page.
I got a chance to meet. I had the good fortune to meet Palmer several years ago at an art con in New Jersey. One of the earliest original art cons. He was the guest of honor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I got to chat with him, and when I saw him, I'm like, dude, you look so young. He said, oh, I was a kid when I started.
That's funny. Yeah. Amazing.
Yep.
We're getting asked, Ted, Zipatone.
Zipatone, that's it.
Does Ted wake up every morning saying, thank God I don't have to work with Joe today?
I say that every day.
I say that.
Count my lucky
stars.
stars.
Thank God I don't have to work with Joe today.
I can't tell you how much I miss having you guys around.
Well, that means a lot, Ted.
Tragic, man.
It's the insult. You miss insulting us.
If you really mean that, make yourself cry right now.
What's that?
If you really mean that, make yourself cry right now. Just start humiliate yourself.
I'm not a crier. Every now and then I'll get very sentimental about something, or something in a movie will just hit me right. And tears will well up, and I'll feel really embarrassed, and I'll be like, oh, no, I can't let anyone see me.
What was the last movie that happened on?
Jaws.
Yeah, when the shark got blown up.
Ted cries at the end of Jaws. When Quint is getting eaten, that's when Ted starts the tears.
You know what's funny is this is going to sound really stupid, but I remember many years ago I was on an airplane, and I was watching this movie with Val Kilmer and Mira Sorvino. And Kilmer was a blind guy and Mira Sorvino was like the social worker who was helping him. And it was just one of those kind of cheesy, kind of schmaltzy movies. But I was watching it on the airplane. There wasn't much else. And it got to me at the end. I forget what he said, but there was something he said to her that was just I was so moved by it. It was so genuine that it got to me.
It's funny because I was blind when I saw Kilmer play Batman. So
you were crying for a different reason.
All right, we got from Kid Victory Rube. Colin was a difficult penciler to ink. Only the best inkers could do his work justice. Lesser inkers just butchered his work.
Correct. Agreed. I agree, because you can see it where, like, oh boy, this inker just did not know how to deal with these shades and shadows. And that's why Palmer killed it.
Excels, yeah. And again, every time you open up anything, they were I think Palmer. I don't think I've ever opened up a book and looked at it and Palmer's inking, and you're like, well, this is trash. It's always.
I never thought it was crap. The only thing I would say is every now and then, if he was on possibly like the wrong artist,
yeah,
his style is like a blanket. It is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I feel that way about Jansen Alcala.
Yeah. I noticed that today. I was looking at an X-Men. Actually, I think X-Men 64 is Don Heck Palmer. And, it's definitely more Palmer. You can feel the Palmer more than even the Don Heck. I hear what you're saying there.
Yes. And actually, in that case, I think it's a good thing.
Well, yeah.
And it's because I remember I was buying those issues and I was loving the Adams work, and then 64 came out and I thought it was still Adams,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how new I was to collecting.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And then I found out, oh yeah, and I'm looking at some of the panels and thinking, this doesn't quite look the same. And I realized, oh, a different artist.
Adams is having a real off issue here.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah.
The Palmer inking was so good
Yeah.
that it really held it together. But it wasn't Adams.
Yeah. No. Adam, what's up next?
Teddy bear. What?
Anything you want there. There's only 2 left.
I think there's only 2 left, right?
Oh yeah, baby. This is Kirby Senate, which I would say probably more than any other art team and title, FF, is the reason that I became so absolutely smitten with comic collecting and learning to draw. I didn't want to draw like Kirby. I wanted to be Kirby. I wanted to just do what he did, At the time, of course, I didn't understand that it was the storytelling and the progressions as well as the look. So what I would try to do is mimic the look, and it just didn't have the same, excitement and punch. I couldn't figure out why.
What definitely is underrated storyteller. I mean, his art is incredible, but it's the way he tells a story that is.
Now, this one is a cool story because back in I think it was like 1989, maybe. My best friend Maz and we used to buy. We couldn't afford much, but we would buy what we could from this auction in California by a guy named Howard Lowry. He might still be doing animation stuff, but he used to do comics and art. And so he had 2 pages from this issue, consecutive pages that were both spectacular. And so we decided to go in on it. And we won the bid, and we each got one of the pages. And this is the one I got.
That's awesome. I love the history behind, anything really that you buy. It's incredible. Just there's so much history for you too, not just the fact that on that page itself, the notes that Kirby wrote to either Senate or there's so much history involved in it.
That page is one of the most outstanding examples you'll see of that, with his notes around every panel.
There's so many notes. It's like
so detailed.
Yeah, in of itself is around the page.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see that Kirby would say, "Aha, I have you now." He would just rough something in.
Yeah.
And Stan would make it quite Baroque. He would make it really more interesting.
Yeah.
And with more specific personality. So the team inspired each other, clearly.
Yeah, thank God they didn't have Post-it notes back then, because if they had Post-it notes, they probably would have lost all of that. Yeah, right? Just all over the place.
Yeah,
but it's amazing. Even on the left side of that page, Adam, I don't know if you can pull it back up, but the left side, look at the detail that he wrote on that middle panel. He's just running out of space to
Isn't that just great? And when you compare that to what Stan actually did as the script, you can see how much Stan brought to it.
Yeah.
And embellished it and made it more interesting to read.
Yeah. Just awesome. Awesome stuff.
I love the Kirby Crackle. Gotta have Kirby Crackle.
Oh, gotta have Kirby Crackle. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Such great stuff. I mean, Jack was my hero.
Oh, incredible.
In 1967, when I was 9 years old, Carl Yastrzemski was my sports hero. And he was kind of my first kind of external hero, so to speak. But by 1969, Jack was my hero, and it never changed. Sports guys, as much as I loved them, like Larry Bird and so forth, they were always secondary. Primary was Jack.
Did you ever get to meet him?
No, unfortunately, if I ever do manage to construct my time machine, I'll definitely go back and meet him, because by the time I started traveling outside New England, he had already died. He was gone. Yeah.
So you were, because he died in what, 93, I think?
Yeah, and I started in 95, 96.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I just missed him.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he just kind of wore out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the guy worked 12-hour days for his whole life.
Crazy. Yeah.
You know, it's incredible.
Islander Phil checking in. Love to see you guys together again.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's fun.
We buried the hatchet. We figured, what's $250,000? Doesn't, you know.
Let me turn my head around. You can see it. Well, actually, we're going to be teaming up this weekend.
That's right. Yep.
At the Elite.
Elite Comics 11 live show, which is weird. It's, I guess, con, right? It's Elite Comics 11 con at Queens. I think St. John's, right?
Yeah, it's St. John's University.
St. John's University.
Yeah.
It'll be the three of us, just like this. We're all going to be stacked on top of each other.
And our booth will be sideways.
Yeah.
Three Stooges.
Yeah.
We figure we want to stand out in a crowd.
Ted, do you have the booth number for the show this weekend? Or I mean,
you know, it'll be so easy. When you walk in the
venue.
door, we will be the second table to the right.
There you go. Just
Up
look for
on the wall.
Look for the three guys stacked up one on top of the other. That'll be us.
You can't miss it.
We'll be in a giant trench coat.
It's like something constructed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. What's going to be there? Big Daddy said he walked past Jack and Stan at San Diego Comic-Con. He never bothered him.
That's wild.
Oh, no, really? You know, that can happen because sometimes you just don't want to seem like a fan nerd, you know? And that has happened with me where I haven't talked to artists because I didn't, in my case, it was someone like Jim Starlin, for example, who I didn't know what he had done for like 20 years. You know, I knew his old stuff and I felt weird going up to him and saying, "Hey, Jim, I love the stuff you did 25 years ago. I have no fucking idea what you're doing. Pardon my French."
It's okay. I think we got one F-bomb on.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, it just felt really awkward to me. So I can understand that.
Yeah, I remember I did one of the first shows I did for you was Boston Comic-Con, and I regret not going up and talking to Bernie Wrightson. I think it was one of the last shows he did. And he had no line. There was nobody there.
That's just so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, because Bernie's just amazing talent.
You know what? I got to chat with Bernie when at a tiny show many, many moons ago in Northampton, Mass.
Oh, really?
It was like this rinky-dink show, and there's Bernie.
That's wild.
So, no line. So I just went up to him and chatted with him, and I had a Swamp Thing 1, and I had him sign it. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
Super nice guy.
Did you keep it or did you sell it?
What's that?
Did you keep the Swamp Thing 1 or did you sell it?
I kept it for a while, and then as I got the art fever, I have art fever, man. And so it went along with a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, and I heard nothing but amazing things about Bernie, how he was a nice guy.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah. And again, just amazing. When he was born in the wrong era. He definitely is like an EC guy.
Yeah.
30 years later, but just really stands out in that Bronze Age horror stuff. And
you know, one of my dreams that will probably never be doable is to own one of those amazing Frankenstein plates he did.
Oh yeah, that would be
the
cool.
Original art.
Yeah,
they're just pretty much out of sight at this point.
I mean, his Swamp Thing stuff is just insane.
That's pretty out of sight.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what art has done really over the last, I mean, everything has really blown up.
But art more so than almost anything else.
Yeah. Yep. It's insane.
And I predicted it. I knew it would happen.
Yeah. You did call it. And smart of you to, sell some of the comics to buy some art.
Yeah, but some of the comics I sold would make
that
would get a tear into your eye.
Yeah, no, I know it. It has. No. Adam, we got one more page.
We do.
Yeah, you'll enjoy this.
Let's pull this up. Nope, wrong one. That one.
Get with it, Adam.
There we go.
There you go. This is a page from Spidey 13 from 1964. Sturdy Stevie Ditko hitting his stride.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. This is the type of thing that at no time in my career would I ever have been able to afford a page like this. But I don't know how many of you remember Conrad Eschenberg, but Conrad was a big New York dealer of books and art, a really big art dealer. In fact, he's the guy who is largely responsible for pointing out the prototypes in the pre-Hero Marvels.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because he was an advisor to the Price Guide, and he's the one who really brought that into the mainstream. But he also had a lot of the art.
Yeah.
So I had an ad in the Comic Buyer's Guide. This must have been, I don't know, maybe 92, I'm guessing. And so he wanted some books that I had, but he wanted to trade. So I said, "Oh, send me your art catalog, and maybe we can come up with something." So I'm looking through the art catalog. There's all kinds of great stuff, but this is the one that stopped me in my tracks. And at the time, it was $2,500. That was his price, and that's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And it was so much more money than I could possibly dream of spending at that time, that I just kind of floated it to him. I said, "Well, what about the Spidey page?" And he said, "Oh man, I don't want to let that go." He said, "Tell you what, I got to pick out some more stuff of yours, because what I initially said I wanted wasn't enough." And he was right. And I remember at the time, though, art had not taken on special status yet.
Yeah.
So I was sweating it because he's pulling out, picking stuff, and I'm kind of like, "Oh, I don't want to let that go,"
Yeah.
It was, one of the best deals I ever made.
What
you know
what? Like, what were some of the books? You know what the big book was in that deal?
Yes, it was a Showcase 8.
Okay.
In nice shape. He also picked out a Strange Tales 89.
Okay.
And some other stuff. I don't remember what the other stuff was.
So you didn't absolutely fleece him then?
Yeah, it's kind of Bill Russell level.
Yeah.
Back in Bill Russell level. That was, and it's funny because years later, I saw him at a show in New York, and he said, "Oh, you caught me in a moment of madness." He said. I said, "Oh, I'm so glad I did, because there's no way I would have ever gotten a Ditko Spidey page."
Ditko Spidey from 13. I mean, no Mysterio on it, but you got Spidey, you got JJ, right?
Yep. You got Parker.
Amazing.
You got Betty.
Yeah. It's a great page. Yeah. Is that the only Ditko Spidey page you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did own another one. I came into another one some years later, but I figured at the time Superworld needed a boost, and I have a Spidey page.
Yeah.
Ditko Spidey, so I sold it.
Who needs 2 Ditko Spidey pages? Don't get greedy, right?
Yeah, don't get greedy. Yeah, no, that's how I was.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh, man.
From the chat, Last Frontier 92 got a T-Rex sketch from Bernie at that Western Mass show. That's kind of neat.
Oh, nice. So you were there, Scott. Yeah, that makes sense.
Said Conrad is a good guy. And then from Jack Perillo, it's Ditko Con, September 27th in Pennsylvania.
Ditko Con.
Yeah, I think they've done that show a couple of times now. It's just like a Ditko oriented Comic Con.
It'd be great if they did a Ditko Con, but nobody showed up, because that would be really Ditko, right?
Well, that would be appropriate.
That'd be appropriate. Let's throw a Ditko Con, but nobody comes.
They said they were going to show up.
Yeah. We had everyone RSVP, but then nobody showed up.
I used to speculate.
And ran back from the dead.
That's right. That would have gotten them out.
Yeah.
I used to speculate at shows, like, I think, can you imagine if anyone was ever able to convince him to come to a show? How many people would come?
The line should be out the door down the street and just miles and miles.
It would be to the next county.
Yeah, it would be insane. They'd have to keep the show open for 72 hours. And it probably still wouldn't be enough.
He probably would have, after 10 minutes, been like, "No, wait a second." Then he would have left.
He would have like, "You people are bugging me, man."
Yeah.
I've seen letters from him where someone would write him and say, "Oh, I love the Spidey and Doctor Strange stuff you did. You were my favorite. And he would write a letter back saying, don't think about the past. Forget about the past.
Great.
Just move forward. Go forward. He totally disdained all that stuff.
There's our buddy Mark has a great story of, and I'm sure the letter's out there somewhere, but his someone sent him maple syrup one time, and Ditko would go eat at the McDonald's in Times Square. And I'm gonna get the story wrong, but long story short, like, you know, guy sent him syrup. He was like, hey, Mr. Ditko, like I make the syrup myself, like, you know, go try it on your hotcakes. And the guy, you know, Ditko gets it. He goes to McDonald's and he puts it on the hotcakes, and, you know, he writes the guy back. He's like, you know, I had your syrup with my McDonald's hotcake at the Times Square location. And then he went into like 8 pages of like the objectivity of what is good and how to
That's classic.
Great.
Absolute insane rambling.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a great page.
That's very funny. I thought you were going to say he hated the syrup or something like that.
Loved it. He was like,
that was the last sentence.
Here's why it is objectively good. And objectivity.
That's fantastic. Oh man,
that's great.
I'm jealous.
Well, Ted, thank you so much for coming on. This was it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
Before you leave, we're getting one more question. I missed the answer. Does Ted have any Barry Smith pages?
Yes,
you do.
Yeah, I have 2 Conan pages by Barry. I have the best page from #1, which is an extraordinary page. It's page 20 if you want to look at your copy. It's a big splash of the side of Conan's face, and then there's a sliver panel where he's walking away toward the mountains. I think it's better than the cover, to be frank about it, because it's drawn better.
That's awesome.
It's an amazing page.
Yeah.
And then I got a page from Howard Lowry way back in the Jurassic period that I was talking about, from #8. And it's a spectacular page. And it's inked by Tom Sutton. And Tom Sutton did a great job on this page.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just so incredibly detailed. And interestingly, there's one panel where there's a whole bunch of coins that he drew each coin by hand. And there's a little note hidden in there where it says, I must be mad to draw all these coins. And it's literally snuck in there. And so the funny thing is, I mentioned it to someone somewhere along the line years ago, and it's a note in the Overstreet now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is really cool. It just snuck in there. Now, also, it shows how neurotically fastidious Smith was, because the page itself is repasted panels. It's like there's like 8 repasted panels.
Oh, wow.
Carefully cut out and reconfigured, and it's a cool page.
Well, we're definitely gonna have you back on, and maybe we could show a couple of those Conan.
Yeah,
cool.
I'd be glad to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, baby.
This has been a lot of fun, Ted, as always.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you. And
too,
again, check out Ted's website. He's running a sale right now, superworldcomics.com. Also at Elite Comics 11 live show this weekend in Queens.
Oh yeah.
3 of us all will be there together. So it's going to be a lot
of fun.
Babe.
No. All right.
Thank you so much. Adam, you got anything else?
No, I think that's it. Just manning the controls over here. I think we're doing all right.
Well, Ted, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks again.
Teddy Bear, Godspeed. Thanks for joining us.
Teddy tickles out.
Teddy tickles out. He's a good guy. I would never say it to his face, but he's a very good guy.
One of my favorites. I would never say it to his face. No, Ted's a great guy. It's Uncle Tickle's an endearing thing. He's definitely like an uncle.
Yes. Yep.
As if you guys don't know, I worked for Ted for about 12 years. Adam worked there for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
4-ish years. Great guy. Really taught me a lot in the business. So it's nice to have him on. and always great stuff.
I love the boy. I think he's one of the best.
He is one of the best. So Adam, we got a few more things. We haven't now. This stuff we're about to show is not on the website. It's brand new stuff.
This is all new stuff.
It's brandy new. Some cool stuff. You want to start with the Tomb of Dracula 13?
Yeah, I'm actually just writing these captions. So just give me 1 second. I'll pull the Tomb of Dracula 13 for you. All right, a couple of new things. Here we go. You ready? Tomb of 13. Tomb of Dracula 13.
Yep.
You got it, Bucko. All right. Let's see here. Don't mind me. There we go. Tomb of Dracula 13.
Tomb of Dracula 13. This is the third appearance of Blade, who appeared in, I think, 10. Well, obviously 10. And I think he appeared in 12. And then this is 13, obviously. This is also the first Deacon Frost. Gil Kane cover here. Cool Kane cover. And Colin Palmer interior art. Calling it a fine minus. It's got a little distributor overspray on the top. You can kind of see it. And then there's a tiny, tiny water stain on the back cover. So calling it a fine minus, but the front looks nicer. It looks like maybe it's closer to like a VF minus for $35. And again, guys, anything you see here, just claim it in the comments and Adam will pull it up. Also, if you have offers, shoot them out there. As we were just talking, Colin Palmer, one of my favorite teams. Palmer, probably my favorite inker of all time.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah. All right, next up, Adam, we got the Shazam puzzle.
We got the Shazam puzzle. That we do.
This is cool. This is from the 1940s, and it spells out Shazam. You can kind of see the S, the H, the A.
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah, so it's not not every puzzle piece spells out Shazam, but it does spell out Shazam in the puzzle.
All right, pull it down. It's claimed.
It's claimed? Okay.
No.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So $25. It's just the puzzle. It comes in a box, but we don't have the box. We just have the puzzle. And it's funny because there's no writing on the puzzle. There's nothing at all. I looked up a couple on eBay. That's how I figured it was from the 40s. It also just looks from the 40s, but it's very cool puzzle. The puzzle itself is complete. I also had a thought while I was looking at this puzzle, Adam. What if it wasn't Shazam? What if Billy Batson had to say something like normal to become Shazam? Like, could you imagine if it was like good morning and like he's out with his neighbor and he's like wishing his neighbor good morning and like lightning bolt strikes him and he's now.
It would be a lot funnier if he could like panic less, or like if he had to panic more, where like he had to watch what he said all, because like you don't casually say Shazam.
That's what I mean. Like if it was something more casual, like
hot dog, and suddenly he turns into Shazam.
Yeah. I could really go for a hot dog right now, and he's hanging out with friends, and lightning bolt comes down, and he's all of a sudden Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, but that's a cool piece. Again from the 40s. Next up, from the 90s, we have Airboy number 5.
Joe, I'm sorry, we're getting price. We're gonna ask grade and price on the Tomb 13.
The Tomb 13 was a fine minus 5.5 for $35.
You know what's funny is I accidentally deleted the image. John, if you need the image, I'll be happy to pull. You know what? There we go. Just had to bring it back in for him. Hold on. All right.
So again, a little distributor overspray, and then we can send you the back cover image as well. But there's a little bit of a water stain on the back cover on the edge where the so it'd be the left edge has a little bit of a water stain on it, but the front is really, really striking.
John is going to claim that.
Okay, cool. Thanks, John.
And then John also said you are if you're Gomer Pyle.
I'm sorry, what?
John said you do. I'm sorry. He said you do if you are Gomer Pyle.
I don't get it.
We were just talking about something, but then we jumped into this. I'm not sure if you were responding to a comment or responding to us.
Oh, okay. I mean, we were talking about Shazam saying like if it was just a normal like sentence that you would become Shazam.
Oh, yep. Maybe that was it. All right. What do we got now? Listen, you don't understand how much work this is to look at a bunch of different screens and then try and get these things up there.
Yeah, you know what? I realized I should have my
No, don't worry about it.
my laptop out to look at comments for you.
John said Shazam.
Shazam.
All right, lay it on me. What do you got?
Airboy number 5.
Yes, I'm sorry. All right. There we go.
Cool, great Dave Stevens cover here from Eclipse Comics. I didn't get the year on this one, but just a classic Dave Stevens cover. Really blew up, with all the Dave Stevens craze. I don't know how she fights crime in that outfit, but whatever.
September 86, Joe.
Oh, September 86. I thought it was from the 90s. Oh, it's funny. Thought it was early 90s. Anyways, again, Dave Stevens cover. He didn't do the interior, but I didn't know this. Chuck Dixon did the scripts. Chuck Dixon, writer that famously co-created Bane, which is pretty cool.
Chucky. Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's what I got about Chuck Dixon. Notes here. Chuck Dixon Bane. That's all.
As the kids call him.
Chucky Dixon.
I just got a second screen, and it's been a game changer. I feel like my productivity has increased by 2. So yeah, I think if I had a third screen, it would probably increase by 3.
I should get the extra screen. That would definitely help, because then I could open it up on that screen.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Now you're starting to get it.
Yeah. So the Airboy was I don't know if you put it up there, but it's a 7.0, and I think it's $30.
I did. Yep, I did. $30.
Yep.
What do we got next?
How about the Detective 359? The foreign Detective 359?
Yeah, you got it. Jay, you know what's funny is I'm not sure it was in that email.
Okay. How about you got Strange Tales 171?
I got Strange Tales 171.
Okay.
There we go.
Strange Tales 171 from December of 1973, featuring Brother Voodoo. It's the third Brother Voodoo, much like the Tomb of Dracula 13, which is cool. Another Gil Kane cover here. It's Kane Giacoya cover, and then Colin Giacoya art on the inside. Another solid find, a very fine 7.0 copy for $40.
Yeah, Joe, nothing on that foreign, but we can talk about the foreign if you want. We just want to have a scan of it.
Okay, yeah. So we'll talk about the foreign after this one, because I have the price in the grade and stuff. But so yeah, I'm a big fan of Brother Voodoo. I don't know if they've actually announced anything for Brother Voodoo, but I'd be excited if they did. Be cool.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm shocked that during like the pandemic when Disney Plus was doing stuff, there was never a Brother Voodoo project.
Yeah, it would be a cool superhero to see on the screen. All right, Adam. Next up, well, actually, we'll talk about the Detective 359 real quick. It's actually, you know what?
It's Swedish, right?
It's Swedish, but I have it over here, I think. So, oh, you got it pulled up right there. Give me where did I do with that stack? Oh, here it is. Here we go. So I think it's going to be backwards, but it is Detective 359.
You are forward. I flipped you around.
Oh, you flipped me around. Oh, look at that. Swedish. It's missing the centerfold. So it's probably, it would be technically a 0.5 here, but it's cool because it came out in 1967. And it reprints, I didn't get the actual numbers that it reprinted, but it does reprint the first Batgirl story, as well as, I think, 2 Justice League stories here. So 0.5 copy. Oh, this is funny. You look like the guy from Home Improvement.
Bingo. I knew you were going to say it.
Yep. So 125 for the Swedish Detective 359.
It's crazy that these foreign keys aren't nearly as, like, I understand why they're less. It's shocking how much less they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely starting to get some respect, which is nice.
Yeah. Let's see, Joe. We're getting an offer of. Would you guys take 40 for the Shazam puzzle and the Airboy?
Yeah, that works.
All right, awesome. That's gonna go to Pike's Marks.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Pike's Marks.
Let's
Are you writing down the claims? Should I be writing down the claims, Adam?
Actually,
I have it here.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. What do we got next, Joe?
How about FF Annual 6?
FF Annual 6. Yep.
So this is FF Annual 6. This is the first Nihilus, ruler of the negative zone. First Franklin Richards as well. Calling it a fine plus 6.5 for 225.
This has always been a neat cover.
Always been a great one, yeah. One of the more popular FF annuals. 1 and 2, obviously, you have Subby, and then Doom, Origin. This is right up there though, with just a great annual. Kirby Sinnott cover and art on this one. Apparently there's been some leaks on FF. And there's pictures of Franklin Richards, so people are speculating that Franklin Richards is going to be in something. It's all going to depend on if this FF movie is a bomb or not, right?
Yeah, which I'm really optimistic for. I really think that, I mean, you know me, I've never seen a single Marvel movie in the theater. I think I might go check this one out.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in going to see this one. I think it'd be
very fun. Very optimistic.
Yeah. And Annihilus, Negative Zone, I think would just be a cool story. FF51, with this book, First Annihilus as well. Just be cool if it really is a good movie, which it looks like. The first preview was good. I thought it was.
Yeah. I thought. I mean, and I imagine we're gonna get another trailer, right?
I think so, but I don't know how that works.
There was talk that Brother Voodoo might appear in a Doctor Strange movie before spinning off to his own series. That's from Kid Victory.
Okay, that'd be cool.
And then Big Daddy's asking us, great impress in the FF. I just pulled it back up for him. John,
okay, yeah, John, it's a fine plus 6.5 for 225.
You're way ahead of me.
Yeah, this book, I was looking at some graded copies, and the asking on it is kind of crazy. I don't know if people are speculating already, if they're just a little bit ahead of their time on the asking price in this. Solid copy. Nice. It's nice and square, which is nice on those the king size issues. So Adam, a couple more. Actually, you want to do the Batman coloring book pages? These are cool. So these are Batman coloring book pages, original art from the Batman coloring book from I think 1966. Jack Perlowitz, Mike Mulich, or Andy T. Fish can correct me if I'm wrong, or Ruben. Or I guess anybody. That's open up to anybody. If I'm wrong that the Whitman coloring book didn't come out in 66. I was doing some research. I think this is from the 66 one. These pages are neat. I really like these pages. Kind of goofy, but it's cool that the original art from the coloring book. For the pair, it's only $60. I don't know if you have that in up, Adam.
I just have Batman OA. So we got any questions,
okay.
Obviously.
Yep. So it's both pages. They're roughly 8.5 by 11. They're not very big pages, but they are cool. And it's pages 36 and 37 from that coloring book. Just neat. I know. Coloring book pages aren't nearly as valuable as regular comic book pages, but still pretty cool.
Still original art,
Yeah.
And Joe, we got one more book left, or is that it?
We have 2 more books left.
Okay.
We have X-Men 64.
Oh yeah, yep. Got it right here.
X-Men 64, First Sunfire, which is cool. This book definitely needs a press. Calling it a VG Fine 5.0. It's a little warbly from water damage, so press will just flatten it out and make it present nicer. I don't think it's going to really go up on the grade. But calling it a VG Fine 5.0 for $95. This one's from January of 1970. Sal Buscema, Tom Palmer cover, really cool. And then Don Heck Palmer art. This is actually the book I was talking about earlier when Ted was on, how you can tell it's Palmer, really kind of taking over from Don Heck on the interior there. Really cool stuff. And as I said, First Sunfire, which is cool. It also has a very cool splash in this one.
All right.
And then last book of the night, Adam, Avengers 54. Great John Buscema cover and art on the interior. This is the first Ultron. Calling it a solid fine, a very fine 7.0 for $55.
Yeah, well, it's got just that little crease in the top right there, maybe a little nick or two on the spine.
Little crease, a couple of nicks. Really, really nice colors in this one, and the back is nice and white as well.
Nice.
So it's a cool book there. So I think that's all we have for tonight. Again, check out the website. Always adding stuff. We just picked up some new toys, some new March 70s toys that Adam is going to be putting up in the next couple of days.
Yep. Yeah, I'll actually get those up probably tomorrow or Thursday, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those will be coming up. I think they're Man from U.N.C.L.E. There's a couple of war and then a couple of Westerns as well. Yep. And then we actually have from, I think they're Whammo, 1972, Peabody, Mr. Sherman, mint on card figures.
Yeah, those are actually, let me just grab them really quick.
Really, really cool.
On unpunched. Yeah,
unpunched cards.
Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
And those are going to be $35 a piece, guys.
Yeah, mint on card. Those are very, very, very cool.
We were toying with the idea that we should put them together, but if you want to make us an offer on both, feel free.
We're gonna make them kith.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tonight. Anything on the chat, Adam?
Let's see. They never showed Reed using his powers in the first trailer. Probably the most difficult power to execute in a live-action movie.
True. Yeah.
From the 60s on Marks. What did you say?
70s?
Oh, did you say 70s? Yeah,
70s.
Those are from the 60s.
Oh, okay.
And then Pikes Mark is offering us $50 for the coloring book art.
Yeah, that works. We'll do that.
Awesome. John Ross, good show.
Thanks so much, John. Again, guys, we'll be at Elite Comics Con this weekend in Queens
with Ted. We'll be
with
set up.
Ted. Yeah. We don't have our own booth. We're teaming up with Ted.
We're doing the show we're working for Ted. The show.
Yeah, we're bringing some books.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be down there with Ted. Yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, check out the website. Oh, also, I was going to announce it here. We haven't done a bracket since Jose. So I think you weren't as excited about the bracket this morning when I brought it up to you. Jose and I used to love coming up with bracket ideas every year. And I haven't done a March Madness bracket since without Jose. So we're going to do a March Madness bracket on greatest comic covers of all time. You're going to be able to vote on Instagram here in our story or on the blog, or you can do both. You can vote on both sides and then we're tallying them up. We're going to start that. I think we're going to try and start it next week. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I like it.
Yeah. I don't think any more major announcements. We do have a color variant coming out soon. That'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
And short box, March 22nd, new short box auction ending on March 22nd.
Yeah, we'll have some previews up for that.
Yep.
In the next next maybe week or two.
Yeah.
And we'll have like a more fuller announcement. And yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
guys, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. We appreciate everyone watching. We will be back next Tuesday for a claim show with Andy T. Fish. We'll be back up in the studio. And until then, we will see you all next week.
Take it easy, guys.
Truck out, the driver awaits the address. And even as the location is given him over the loudspeaker, he is rounding the corner with Rio Grande cracked gasoline pouring power into the rear wheels. More power, more speed, more acceleration than ordinary gasoline can give. That's the reason more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, and all other emergency equipment are powered by Rio Grande cracked than any other gasoline everywhere it is sold. Because it is manufactured in America's newest, finest cracking plant by the most advanced process and most costly equipment known to the petroleum industry. Rio Grande cracked has the advantage over all other gasoline. It costs more to make Rio Grande cracked, but it costs you no more And if you will use it in your car, you too will enjoy police car performance. And now it is our pleasure to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. When the bootlegging racket was abolished by repeal, the organized gangs of criminals in this country turned to the snatch racket as the next easiest way of making a dishonest livelihood. We had an epidemic of kidnapping. Wealthy people were in constant fear. Many employed bodyguards. Then the law enforcement agencies of the country arose in mass to crush out this new threat to law-abiding citizens. They succeeded so well that practically every kidnapping mystery has been solved and the culprits placed behind the bars with good stiff sentences to serve. I am proud to point out that every major kidnapping case originating in Los Angeles has been promptly broken by the police. The infamous Hickman case, the ghetto kidnapping, all were sensations for a few days. And then the detectives closed in, and it was all over. I cannot conceive of any criminal mind being stupid enough to try again in view of the failures of these other carefully planned attempts. But if anyone listening tonight thinks he is smart enough to get away with a kidnapping, I ask him to listen now and learn how we cracked the Steele kidnapping.
Tonight's dramatization is based on the famous Steele kidnapping case. The kidnapping of Mrs. Mary Steele outraged the citizenry of Los Angeles as no crime had since the infamous Hickman case. On a Sunday evening several years ago, Walter Fisher Steele, dean of the music school at the University of Southern California, as was his custom, left for the church where he played the organ. Shortly after his departure, Mrs. Steele, all alone in the house, was summoned to the telephone.
Hello?
Is that Mrs. Steele?
Yes?
Are you alone?
Yes?
I don't want to frighten you, Mrs. Steele.
Why, well, what's the matter?
This is the emergency hospital.
Yes? What is it? My husband?
Yes.
Is he?
He's been injured in a traffic accident, Mrs. Steele.
Oh.
He's not in danger.
Oh, thank heaven.
But the doctor thinks it's best for you to come over here.
Yes, yes, of course.
We'll send a car for you.
Very well. I'll get ready right away.
Thank you, Mrs. Steele. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, poor Walter. I should have asked her how it happened. Now, where did I leave my hat? Oh, yes. And my coat. Oh, here it is. Oh, I must call Franklin. Oh, why don't I put that coat doesn't slip out. I must mend that lining. Now, let's see. What is Franklin's number? Oh, yes, I remember. Oh, dear, poor Walter. Oh. Hello, Franklin.
Hello, Mother.
Franklin, something terrible has happened.
What's the matter, Mother?
Oh, Franklin, your father's been hurt.
Hurt? How? What happened?
I don't know. They just called me from the hospital. They said it was a traffic accident.
What hospital, Mother?
The emergency hospital. They're sending someone over for me.
Well, I'll leave here right away and meet you at the emergency hospital.
All right, Franklin.
And don't worry, Mother.
No, I'll try not to, son. There's the bell. That must be the man from the hospital. Hurry over there, Franklin.
I will, Mother. Goodbye.
Goodbye, son. Is he? Is he all right?
Yes, ma'am. He's resting very well.
Is it serious?
Well, I really don't know much about it. I'm just an orderly. Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes, I think I've got everything. Let's see. Oh, yes, my glasses. All right, now. You can go now.
This is the nurse, Miss Wells, ma'am. Maybe she knows more about it.
How do you do, Mrs. Steele?
Tell me, is he badly hurt?
We don't think so, Mrs. Steele, but we wanted you to be with him.
Where did the accident happen?
We don't know. He was unconscious when they brought him in.
Unconscious?
Yes, but there are no serious fractures.
Oh, that's a relief. Look here. Where are you taking me? This isn't the way to the hospital.
It's the way we're going.
Let me out of here. You're not taking me to the hospital? Help! 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 Let me out!
Shut up, shut up. Now listen, Mrs. Steele. You're going for a ride with us. And if you know what's good for you, you won't make any noise or cause any trouble. Failing to find his father at the emergency hospital, Franklin Steele rushes to the church. There he discovers his father at the organ. Fearfully, they return together to the Steele home.
Why, I can't understand it, Franklin. Well, somebody must be playing a joke on you. One of the students, perhaps. It's rather a grisly joke. It doesn't look as though Mother's home. Here, Father. Let me open the door. Your hand's shaking, sir. Oh, the house is dark. Oh, Mary? Mary? Let me switch on the light. There. That's better. Franklin, she's not here. Oh, don't get excited, Father. Oh, hello. What's this? What? A letter. Here, stuck under the door. It's addressed to you. It says on the envelope, Walter Fisher Steele. If ever there was a time to be careful, it is now. Oh, here. Let me have it. Oh, Franklin, this is terrible. What? Why, they want $10,000 or they won't bring Mother back. Gee. Franklin, I haven't $10,000 or anywhere near that much money. What are you going to do? I'm going to call the police.
A short while later, Mr. Steele and his son are explaining the circumstances of Mrs. Steele's disappearance to Detective Lieutenants Paul D. Pittman and E.D. Kopytek and Chief of Detectives Joe Taylor.
That's all we know about it.
Well, let me see that letter, please, Mr. Steele. Thank you.
Read it aloud, Pittman.
It says, each move of yours will be watched closely. If you make one false move, it'll be just too bad for yourself and wife. You know, others have tried to be slick and let the officers know, but they've always paid off in flowers afterwards. $10,000 in cash or the wife pays the bill. This money must be of the denominations of $5, $10, $20 bills. None of these bills to be new. Place this money in paper sack and put inside a pasteboard box. Be sure this money is in the box for delivery. No dummy packages go. It will hold her until we know that you have followed these instructions. Your wife will not be returned if you have the money marked for the serious taken. You have new bills instead of used ones. You have any other denominations of bills instead of $5, $10, or $20. You have anyone with you or around you or following you. You talk of this to anyone. You notify the police or anyone else.
Oh, do you think I did wrong and the wrong thing in coming to you?
Absolutely not, Mr. Steele. That's what we're here for.
Oh, I hope they don't do her any harm.
Well, we had to come to the police, Father. You certainly couldn't have paid the ransom.
This appears to be the work of amateurs. The ransom letter is not worded as it would be if written by experienced kidnappers. I think you may expect Mrs. Steele back safely.
Well, I leave it all to you. We've given you all the information we have. We can only wait and hope.
Let me ask you, Mr. Steele, can you think of any enemies who may have done this out of vengeance?
No, I have no enemies.
How about students? Is there anyone who has a grudge against you, perhaps because you failed him?
Oh, but that's so silly.
No, Mr. Steele. People do strange things for very strange reasons, as we quickly find out in this business. Now, could you think of any students who may have cause to hate you?
Why, no, I really can't.
Well, Father's always had the respect of his students.
Let's see that letter, Pittman. Yes, sir. You'll notice, Chief, that although the letter is typewritten, the word wife, whenever it appears, has been cut out of a newspaper or magazine and pasted into the letter. Yeah, so it has. Hand me that magnifying glass over there, will you? Yes, here you are, sir. Thanks. The word daughter seems to have been originally typed into this letter. Have you any daughters, Mr. Steele?
Yes, one.
Does she live with you?
No.
Well, then, this letter must have been intended originally for the family of another victim. We haven't had any attempt kidnappings recently, have we, Kopytek? No, sir, not for some weeks. That's mighty strange.
Hey, look here, sir. The envelope this letter came in. The name Walter Fisher Skeel has also been clipped from some printed matter and pasted on the envelope. That may be a lead.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Skeel.
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
Do you recognize the printing here? Have you any idea where your name may have been printed? That the kidnappers could have found it?
Well, now I don't know. Of course, they print my name sometimes in the church bulletin.
I see.
And occasionally it's mentioned in the papers.
But this isn't newsprint.
Then in various notices at the university.
I see. Well, I'll bet that's the source. Somebody at the university. Copy, Dick. You and Pittman get out there first thing in the morning and see if you can run down this printing.
At the university, Detectives Kopitek and Pittman are given the utmost cooperation by the sympathetic colleagues of Mr. Skeel. They interview Mr. Cleo Foster, Assistant Superintendent of Buildings.
Mr. Foster, you can be of great assistance to us.
I'll do anything I can.
Well, look closely at this printing here. Can you tell us whether it's similar to any type you use here in the university?
Let me hold this closer to the light here. Why, yes. That was clipped from one of our university bulletins. It's the only publication we print in which that particular typeface is used.
Now we're getting someplace.
Maybe.
Here, I'll show you what I mean. Here's the pamphlet, and here on page 11, see? Walter Fisher Skeel, A.B., Dean of the College of